and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I thought I would give you a sneak peek of something that is coming on January the 3rd. January the 3rd until the 31st of March is Sale-a-bration, which is probably one of Stampin' Up's biggest events of the year. We have events throughout the year, but Sale-a-bration is really the one which is we all get very excited about. And it means that in the UK, for every £45 that you spend, you can choose a free item from the Sale-a-bration brochure. Now, I'm not allowed to show you inside it until the 3rd of January. However, as a demonstrator, I'm allowed to pre-order. So I wanted to show you one of the beautiful free sets which is in the catalogue, which is By the Bay. Oh my goodness, this set is absolutely gorgeous. If you're somebody who, like me, isn't an artist but loves to do those beautiful artistic cards to send to people, this is just the one for you. So it's one of the cling stamps, which means that you can mount it on the exactly the same as all of our rubber stamps, but we now have a very sticky, so it's me taking it out, a very sticky labels now instead of the labels that weren't as sticky. However, I'm not putting the label on this yet. I may do at a later point. I've got so used to using them as they are, I'm going to use them as they are for now. I'm saying for now because lining it up is not my best thing. So I'm going to try it, see what it's like, and I will let you know. However, I thought I would show you these lovely sets and how we can really simply create some absolutely beautiful images. So we're going to take each one of them, and I've got a E-block here because I want the image to fit down perfectly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up so that my image is straight on my block, like that, as we've always done for a long time now. And then I'm going to take a good black ink. The definition on rubber, on our red rubber stamps, is just amazing, and it gives you the image as if you've created it yourself, which, as I say, I think is just stunning. So I've just got a scrap at the moment because I want to show you how this is going to turn out. So let's just stamp the image down. It's quite a large surface area stamp, so as you know, I leave it just to rest down for a few seconds. It allows the ink to absorb into the cardstock, and then we can just lift it up. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is just so beautiful. I really love that. And I'm going to show you a very simple way of turning it into a watercolour without having to be, again, as I said, I am no artist. I'm somebody who loves design, loves creating, but as an artist, I'm not the greatest at knowing exactly where my shadows come, where my light comes, where my dark comes, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. On this, we can create the most beautiful picture without doing any of that. Now I'm going to take the other two images. So we've got a lovely set of little seagulls. So let's do exactly the same with that. Just line it up on the block. Take our good black ink, stamp it up, and I'm going to put this image up at the top, I think, on this one. So let's just line it up like this. What I tend to do quite often with detailed images like this is I will do a whole series of them, then I can cut them out and mount them and decide how I'm going to put them on my cards afterwards. I think that the images will probably go all together. So if you have a large enough card, you can have your cottage and the sea, and then the seagulls out to sea, and then there's this absolutely adorable little seashell. Oh my goodness, there are so many ideas with this. But at the moment, I'm just trying everything out. As you know, when I buy a new stamp set or earn one for free, which in Celebration you do with this lovely stamp set, I try and get the most out of each single image. So I tend to spend quite a bit of time playing around with it and working out how I can do as many different cards as I can. So we now have the 3 images on there, and I think that shellfish is absolutely adorable as well. Okay, so let's just put this back in here. I'm going to choose some very easy colours to just give a little bit of wash and a little bit of colour for this. So we need our aqua painters. Aqua painters, they come in a set of 2. You have a wider tipped brush and you have a narrower tipped brush. I'm actually using the narrow tipped brush. You just squeeze it just a little bit and until you get the water coming out, and then that allows the brush to get a little bit wet, and I use my fingers. You can use a cloth or anything like that. So let's have a look at some colours. We want our water first of all. So the water that I'm going to use Pool Party. It's a lovely soft colour. You need to get a little bit of colour in the well. Now this is an old ink pad, but it's still going strong, and I just put re-inker in there. So you can put the re-inker in the bottom. But we have just a little bit of colour in the well, which is what we want. And we're just going to pick that up. You want it fairly loose, so make sure that you've got quite a bit of water in. And then we are literally just going to lay the colour down. So just gently round where the seashell is, just lay that colour. And you can see how quickly you can do this. So exactly the same on the little birds. Now I'm going over their legs because obviously their legs will be in the water, but I'm not going to go over their bodies. So just sort of carefully, again, if your aqua painter is fairly lightly picked up with colour and fairly loose, it's quite easy to just literally go across there. So you can see how quickly and easy that was. And then we've got the water out on this one as well. So let's just run some colour through on here. And again, I'm doing it just lightly because I don't want it. I want it to be just a pale wash. So I might just get a tiny little bit more of this one on here. So give it another little squeeze. That's plenty for what I need. So just pick that up and you can go over the top. Now, you can use watercolour paper if you want to. This is just standard. I've used the heavy Whisper White. But it actually takes the water quite well. So let's just bring that out on the side. Okay, so that's all our blue. You can see now why I do each image or 3 images at once, because it saves a little bit of time. So we now want to do, let's take some smoky slate. So I've got a variety of colours out. So smoky slate, I think the smoky slate will work with the seagulls, because I think the bottoms of the seagulls will be in the smoky slate. Now I'm just literally because Pool Party was quite pale, I'm just literally taking it off with my fingers. Again, let's make it quite loose. You can always add a bit more in. And I'm just going to take the birds and just give them a little bit of definition with some colour. And again, just washing it over. You don't need to be really precise or exact. Now seagulls have white heads, so I'm going to leave them their heads white and just do in the bodies like that. And now we have what I would say is probably a pathway. So let's do this pathway in the smoky slate, And again, you can see I'm just very quickly just putting colour all the way down, just on here, and I'm going to put colour up on this bit as well. And then it goes into a sort of a garden. So I'm just, as I say, putting the smoky slate down on, let's just get a little bit more on here, just running down on this little path. And probably on the little roof part on here. So let's just add a little bit of the now again, because I want to do this angle, I'm just going to do that down, turning my paper to just add that little bit of colour. And there's a little bit of a roof here, so let's do that. And there's a roof down on here as well, so let's just do some of that on there. And I'm just going to very loosely just put a little bit of the smoky slate over the top of this roof like that. Okay, so that's, I think, probably all of the smoky slate. So let's get some crumb cake out now. And with the crumb cake, we are going to just add in a little bit more of the tone. So again, I'm just cleaning my brush off. They're very light colours because I'm doing it in a pale wash, so you don't have to worry too much. If you need just a little bit more water, just squeeze the barrel of your aqua painter and you can see you get quite a bit of colouring on here. So now I'm going to do, I'm going to just take over and just very lightly wash round where the windows are. It's a little bit too wet, so dry it off a little bit and just pick up a little bit. And I just want to literally just wash it through like this, just round on the building. And I'm going to take a little bit on the roof as well, because I want it to be as if it's been watercoloured in. So you're not spending a huge amount of time, but you're just very carefully sort of just giving just a little bit of colour and shadow. Now here on this bit, if you just blend through where this sort of the sort of wooden barriers that you have up on the coastline to stop the bits and pieces sort of falling down. Can't think of what the name of them is, but I'm sure I will think of it in a minute. So we're just taking that up on here just a little bit, and we can take just a little bit down on there. So we've got just a little bit of colour definition between the grey and the so the smoky slate and the crumb cake on there. So let's finish on that one, and then we need some greens. So let me squeeze up in here. Excuse me if I've just shaken the camera, I'm just trying to get my inks up, so we've probably got a bit of a wobble going on. Let me just try and stop that. There we go. And we're just going to get a bit of Mossy Meadow now. Now, you can use whatever colours you want. What I would say is, if it's a dark colour, it means that when you add the water, you will still get quite a good amount of colour coming out. So I'm literally on here, just brushing it through. These are trees up at the top. So coming through up on here, giving a little bit trees sort of round the house. Down here on this little cottage at the bottom, the little pathway coming up, and then just taking this sort of in fairly randomly across like that, without too much colour detail in there, like that. And then I am going to take, because I want it to have that sort of slightly sepia tone, we're going to get the crumb cake back in again. And we're just going to take a little bit of the crumb cake and then just carefully sort of wash over those areas. So you've got the sort of the soil and the trees coming in. And as I say, I'm no watercolour expert at all, and I haven't looked at colouring or shading or anything like that. All I've done is take it in. But I think that looks really good. So I'm going to pick it up a little bit, so hopefully you can see it a little bit clearer. But you see, all I've done is just put a loose sort of wash of those colours on, and left the rest of the detail of the house so that you've got it perfectly. Now, what I would do is I would then cut these images out and then turn round and use them. Now, I did have a play just before I came on, so let me show you the ones that I did before. And what I've done is you can see exactly the same sort of wash. I've just put it on some Sahara sand because I wanted it in a pail. And then you've got the birds, and then you've got the lovely seashell. You could colour the seashell in with a little bit of pink, but I wanted it fairly neutral because, as I said, I think that they will all go very well together. So just for a bit of an example, let's have a little look. I've got this base which I've got ready for something else, but let's have a little go at doing it. If we put, for example, this one up at the top, you could have the seagulls down at the bottom and the shells in there, because you've got that sort of scene coming through, that the cottage goes out to the seagulls, and you could put them together, maybe put something down the side. You could have this one literally in the centre like that, and then maybe just put the shell at the side. Something like that would work perfectly. You could obviously have this stand alone and put some ribbon or something like that round it. You could take these two images. Let's have this on a rectangular. So, for example, you could put that at the top. You could put the seashells at the bottom, and you could have a sentiment in the centre. As you can see, there are so many ideas with this, but it is the most beautiful image. I absolutely love it. And the sentiments you've got with it are thinking of you, which covers virtually everything, which is what I put on this one. You've got a thank you. So again, after Christmas, the amount of thank yous that we need to send. So that's a great one. And may all your paths lead to happiness. Oh, that's beautiful. Who wouldn't want to live in a beautiful cottage by the sea? I think the sea is something that we're all drawn to. So this is a free stamp set. You can start getting it from the 3rd of January. If you would like a copy of the Spring Summer catalogue and the Celebration catalogue, and you haven't got one yet, then please let me know in the description box below, and I'm happy to send one out to you. So thank you so much for watching me today, and I do look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.